Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to discuss current affairs of 21st February 2021. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss 7 topics which are very much relevant to UPSC. So let's get started with our discussion and let us see first article. Title says East Path for Business. So this is statement given by our Honorable Prime Minister. So in our PIB analysis, we already discussed about this 6th Governing Council meet of Niti Aayog. So please first watch that video because we are going to discuss only what is written in this article in this lecture. Already everything regarding this 6th Governing Council meet of Niti Aayog already discussed in PIB. So please watch that video. Okay. So this article is important regarding economy point of view, which comes under GS paper 3. And also you have to refer some facts regarding this Niti Aayog, which comes under GS paper 2 under polity. Now let us see context. GST Council meet that held today. So in this context, our Honorable Prime Minister mainly stressed importance of better coordination between center and states. So he mainly focused on cooperative federalism and as well as competitive federalism here. So this cooperative federalism and as well as competitive federalism, they are very important for development of our country. And our Prime Minister also said that states, they should work towards reducing compliance, burden for citizens, and states, they need to ensure ease of living and also promote ease of doing business ranking also. So if you're talking about 6 key agenda of this 6th Governing Council meet of Niti Aayog, they mainly include the first one is making India a manufacturing powerhouse. So how can we make India a manufacturing powerhouse? So to make this India powerhouse of manufacturing, we need to get some reforms. So reforms in logistics, reforms in infrastructure. We need to improve our technology. We need to ease transport. So in this way, we can make this manufacturing power sector. And next one is we need to reimagine agriculture. So nowadays, if you see, because of contraction of our GDP, so only one sector that is showing some positive growth, that is this agriculture. So because of this, in this tough corona times, only agriculture saved us. So it is only showing some positive growth. So because of this, we need to focus on this agriculture also, because large amount of population of India mainly dependent on agriculture. So because of this, Indian economy is called as agriculture economy. So we need to focus on agriculture. So we need to go for mechanization of farming. Okay, we need to go for organic agriculture or organic farming here, such that we can decrease air pollution, soil pollution, water pollution also. And next one is we need to improve physical infrastructure. So whenever there is any physical infrastructure is present, then we can develop employment, and we can also, it will also very helpful for increasing transport facilities. And if at all any factory which is producing so and so number of units, so if there is no proper transport facility, but how can this manufacturing industry that can go to market here? Mainly to increase infrastructure, mainly to make this India manufacturing powerhouse, we need to also focus on this physical infrastructure. And next one is we need to accelerate human resource development. Human resource development that can be accelerated by skill development among people. So we need to go for skill development programs or entrepreneurship programs here. And next one is we need to improve service delivery at grassroots level. So at grassroots level, we need to go for transparency and accountability. In this context, we can talk about BharatNet service. So this BharatNet service mainly talks about providing internet service mainly to rural areas, such that it can ensure accountability and transparency at grassroots level. And next one is we need to focus on health and nutrition. So these are 6 key issues of agenda regarding this Governing Council meet of Niti Aayog. So now let us see some facts regarding this Niti Aayog. So what is this Niti Aayog? Niti Aayog mainly stands for National Institute for Transforming India. So important aim of this Niti Aayog here, it is to achieve sustainable development goals and also to enhance cooperative federalism, mainly by fostering involvement of state government of India, mainly regarding economic policy making process, mainly by using bottom-up approach. So earlier we have planning commission, it will work on top to bottom approach, but this Niti Aayog, which replaced this planning commission, mainly works on bottom to up approach here. And next one is here role. So if you see role of this Niti Aayog, it mainly provides both central government and as well as state government with relevant strategic and as well as technical advice across the spectrum of key elements of policy, and it also includes matters of at national level and as well as international level regarding import of some economic important regarding some economic front. So this Niti Aayog mainly includes some matters at national level and as well as international level, which are very important at economic front, and also it also deals with this dissemination of best practices, and it also deals with infusion of new policy ideas and also specific issues based support, etc. And if you're talking about this governing council, who are members? Here it mainly comprises Prime Minister and as well as Chief Ministers of all the states and also Lieutenant Governors of Union Territories. So these are some important facts that you should remember regarding this article. Now let us see next article. Title says India backs the Maldives on United Nations role. So this article is very important regarding international relations. So you have to refer relationship between India and Maldives. So this article mainly talking about India backs Maldives on United Nations role. So this article mainly talking about one international organization. So this will be very important for prelims point of view. Now let us see this article in great detail. So context mainly says that India reiterated its support for a greater role in Maldives in multilateral affairs. So India mainly supporting Maldives mainly for presidentship in 76th session of United Nations General Assembly. So this United Nations General Assembly elections that are going to be held in next year. So for Maldives memberships, India is mainly supporting here. So now let us try to see some facts regarding this United Nations General Assembly. So if you're talking about this United Nations General Assembly, it is one of main deliberative and as well as policy making body and representative organ of United Nations. So this is such an important body. And if you see all 103 members of United Nations, they are represented in this United Nations General Assembly. So each year in September, a full United Nations membership meeting that will be held. So in this meeting, mainly there will be decisions that will be taken on important questions. So these important questions mainly include peace and security, admission of new members and as well as budgetary matters. So regarding these important questions, the decisions will be taken based on majority. So this majority that should not be less than 2/3 of majority. And if you're talking about decisions on other questions, not at all important things like peace and security, admission of new members or budgetary matters. So in these matters, mainly decisions they are taken on simple majority. So if you're talking about President of General Assembly, he will be elected each year. Mainly he will serve 1-year term of office. So these are some important facts that you should remember regarding this article. Now let us see next article. Title says mapping NAPS. So this article is important regarding science and technology, which comes under GS paper 3. Sorry. And let us see context here. So this article especially talking about afternoon naps. So context mainly says that actually people who had this afternoon naps, they actually lie. So these afternoon naps mainly lie in your genes. So people who often have this afternoon naps, for especially like me, so they have some alterations in their genes here, okay? So they are mainly depend upon our genes. So recently one new study which is published in Nature Communication which mainly talked about this genes regarding this afternoon naps here. So some details of this study mainly says that study of genetic information about 4,52,633 people. So in these people, this study mainly found about some genes regarding this afternoon naps. So this study mainly found that 123 areas of human genome that could responsible for people who are having these often naps in afternoon here. So this study also found some interesting thing here, that is there is a preliminary link between napping habits and as well as cardiometabolic health. So whenever they are not having some afternoon naps, who had some habits of having these afternoon naps, so there will be also some effect that is seen on cardiometabolic health. So this is study. Okay, now let us see next article. Title says mammoth tail. So this article mainly talking about these big mammals. So this article will be important regarding environment and ecology, which comes under GS paper 3, and this topic is important regarding means. So how it is important regarding means? So whenever you are writing any answer regarding climate change, you can also add this article as a case study, okay, as an example. So if you see context, a new study mainly published in Nature Communications, it mainly said that climate change and not extensive hunting by humans that led to driving of these large mammals of North America, for example mammoths and as well as glyptodons, to extinction. So here in North America, large mammals like mammoths and also glyptodons, they led to extinction. So this study mainly says that this extinction mainly because of climate change but not because of excessive hunting by humans. So if you see why this is reason here, because 13,000 years ago there was intense lowering of temperature. So because of this intense lowering of temperature, that resulted to slow decline of these animals. So not because of extensive hunting of humans. So you can add this example, or you can add this article as an example whenever you are writing climate change. So you can write regarding because of climate change, even that is leading to extinction of animals. For example, mammoths and glyptodons, they are large mammals of North America. They mainly extincted because of climate change according to some articles which are published in Nature Communications. So in this way you can add this article as an example so that you can enrich your quality of your answer. Okay. Now let us see next article. So before seeing this article, I want to make a small announcement on this platform. We came up with this current affairs package course. So in this course, we exclusively focusing on current affairs and also mains answer writing practice. So if you ask me what is importance of current affairs, so about 50 to 60% of questions, either it may be prelims or mains or even interview, you can expect questions from current affairs. If you are getting any static questions, they are also related to current affairs. So mastering of current affairs, it is very important to clear UPSC. And if you are talking about this mains answer writing practice, without proper answer writing skills, you cannot clear UPSC for sure. So on day 1 of your preparation, you need to focus on these answer writing skills. And if you are joining this course, we are also providing you prelims practice questions on weekly basis along with video solutions. So in this way, this course is exactly focusing on what is demand of this UPSC. So finally, I want to say one thing. Please don't take this course as a choice. Please try to join this course as soon as possible and achieve your dream of clearing UPSC. For further details of this course, you can contact me directly. So please contact me in a number which is given in description box. Now let us see next article. Title says an estimate of WASH across healthcare facilities in India. So this article mainly talking about WASH. So what is this WASH? WASH means water, sanitation and hygiene. So these are 3 important components of WASH. So this article mainly talking about estimate of WASH across healthcare facilities. So recently one article which mainly published. So this article mainly focused on estimation of WASH across healthcare facilities in India. So because of this, now WASH is in news. So this article is very important regarding mains point of view, which comes under health. So now let us try to understand this article in great detail. So if you are talking about context, why this WASH in news? Recently, status of WASH in healthcare facilities, they are very important for development of our country. So recently one article mainly published in BMJ Global Health. So in this article, researchers mainly from Center for Disease Dynamics, Economics and Policy, that is CDDEP, estimated cost of ensuring WASH and as well as some related steps for infection prevention and control for 1 year in healthcare facilities in all over India. So they estimated that it will cost about $354 million. So recently researchers mainly estimated that to ensure this WASH, and as well as some related steps mainly for infection prevention and control of infection for 1 year in healthcare facilities all over India. It is estimated it will cost about $354 million. So if you see some data, it mainly says that according to 2019 Joint Global Baseline Report, it mainly said that WHO and UNICEF, they jointly came up with this baseline report in 2019. It came up with some important data. So it mainly says that first one is globally, that is all across the globe, 1 out of 4 healthcare facilities, they lack basic water servicing. So this is first important fact. And next one is 1 out of 5, they had no sanitation service, and 42% of people, they do not have hygiene facilities at point of care. So these are some important details regarding WASH in India. And next one is impact of WASH. So what is impact of this water, sanitation and hygiene here? So WASH healthcare facilities, they mainly point that 8,27,000 people who are mainly belonging to low and middle income countries, they will die because of result of inadequate water, sanitation and hygiene, that is WASH. And next one is about death of 2,97,000 children. They are under 5 years. They can be prevented every year from deaths. Okay. So whenever we are following these proper WASH technologies or WASH techniques and better WASH, that can mainly prevent deaths of about approximately 3 lakh children under 5 years. And also WHO came up with 2012 report. So this 2012 report mainly calculated that for every $1 invested in sanitation, there was $5.5 that will be gained here. So whenever we are going for this proper sanitation, so there will be lower health cost and also there will be more productivity here. So whenever people having good health, they will contribute for our economy. But how? So whenever people are having proper health, then they will do work. So whenever they are doing work, they will get some income. So whenever they are getting income, they will go to market and demand goods and services. So increase of this demand for goods and services will be increased. So because of this, finally it will contribute to economy. So in this way, whenever we are focusing on increasing sanitation, it will also increase our productivity. And next one is fewer premature deaths. So because of proper health, proper hygiene, proper sanitation, we can decrease non-communicable diseases here. So whenever we are decreasing these non-communicable diseases, especially in premature deaths, that can be decreased. So these are some impacts of this proper WASH techniques. And we can also ensure availability and also sustainable management of water and as well as sanitation here. And it is one of sustainable development goal of WHO also. So we need to go for sustainable management of water and as well as sanitation, mainly to ensure to achieve our 2030 sustainable development goals of WHO. And if you're talking about importance of WASH here, so inadequacies in improving WASH here. So whenever there are some inadequacies mainly proving this WASH, that will leads to some infections also. So if you are going to hospital, in that hospital we do not have any proper water facilities in toilets, or if you don't have any proper water facilities for drinking purpose, then what happens, there will be leads to increased chances of infections, right? So because of contaminated water and food, we can see there are many diseases that can be transmitted. So mainly to prevent that, we need safe and healthy drinking water. So whenever there is no proper water facilities, or whenever there is no proper sanitation facilities, especially in healthcare organization or healthcare facilities, then it will lead to increased infections, that will lead to increased stay in hospital. Finally, it will lead to increased cost of health, correct? So these are some important things which are mainly discussed in this article. Now let us see next article. Title says wettest place on earth sees decreasing trend in rainfall. So this article is important regarding geography point of view, which comes under GS paper 3. So now let us try to understand this article in great detail. If you see in India, which is wettest place, that means which area receives highest rainfall, that is Meghalaya's Cherrapunji, right? So Cherrapunji area mainly receives high rainfall. So what is reasons for receiving high rainfall? So if you open your atlas, okay, in that physical geography map in Meghalaya, you can see 3 hills are present in this way. We have Jaintia Hills, and we have Khasi Hills, etc. Oh, so we have 3 hills which are present in that area. So whenever Bay of Bengal branch, monsoon Bay of Bengal branch that is moving in this way, here it will create some funneling effect in this area. So because of creating funneling effect in this area, that will lead to high rainfall in this Meghalaya's Cherrapunji. So this article mainly says that this Meghalaya's Cherrapunji area, which is decreasing trend of rainfall that is seen here. So now let us try to understand this article in great detail. So context says that Mawsyndram trounced Cherrapunji to become wettest place in world here. So if you are talking about this Mawsyndram, it mainly receives about 10,000 millimeters of rain in a year. So recent study mainly says that pattern of rainfall, when we analyze from past 119 years, we are seeing there is a decreased trend of Cherrapunji, decreased trend of rainfall in this Cherrapunji areas. So if you see what might that led to causing this decreasing trend of rainfall. So changes mainly seen in Indian Ocean temperature. So because of changing in Indian Ocean temperature, which have a huge impact on this rainfall in this region. So because of changes in this Indian Ocean temperature, we are seeing there is a increased trend of El Nino rather than La Nina. So because of El Nino, we can see there is affecting of Indian monsoons. So this is first important reason. And second one is reduction in vegetation area in northeastern India. So because of decrease in vegetation in this area, it will also lead to decrease in rainfall. And next one is human influence also plays an important role here. So these are 3 main reasons that are contributing to decreased trend of rainfall in this Cherrapunji area. So now let us try to talk about reduction in vegetation area. So how there is reduction in vegetation area? So first one is the traditional way of cultivation in that area is zoom cultivation or shifting cultivation. So what is shifting cultivation? So if you are taking a patch of land is present and this area which is entirely covering of forest. But if you see some tribal people who are present in that area, they cleared this amount of forest and they started cultivating rice or anything here. So later on they will cultivate for some years and they will feel that this soil lost fertility here and this is time to move to next another patch, and they will move to another patch of area and they start clearing forest there and they will go for cultivation or agriculture in that area. So after some years again they will go to another area and they will go for cultivation in another area. So because of this, what happened, that is leading to deforestation. So there is increased rate of deforestation that is seen in this area. So because of increase in deforestation, there is decrease in vegetation in that area and there is increasing of crop land. So because of all these reasons, there is decrease in trend of rainfall in this Cherrapunji. So data mainly says that there is decreased vegetation of 104.5 square kilometers per every year in that area. And next one is, if you are talking about topography of northeastern India, there are mostly hilly areas are present here, right? So this northeastern India, it is also called as extension of Indo-Gangetic plains. So this area which is very sensitive to regional and as well as global climate. So because of global climate change, we are seeing some changes or decrease in trend of rainfall in this area. And in this context, what is need? First one is we need to conserve this vegetation or forest area and we need to decrease this deforestation. And if you are talking about biodiversity, so we have number of biodiversity parks, number of hills, number of valleys in this northeast area, they need to be conserved. And next one is we need to go for solid water management and we need to go for strategies to combat climate induced changes mainly in water bodies and as well as groundwater levels, etc. And next one is finally we need to come up with long-term plans. These long-term plans are very much necessary mainly to bring back this change. And now let us see next article. Title says life beneath the freeze. So this article mainly talking about lakes which are present beneath this Antarctic ice. So this article is again important regarding geography point of view, which comes under GS paper 1, and as well as environment and ecology, which comes under GS paper 3. So now let us try to understand this article in great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that recently British scientists, they have found lakes which are present underneath this Antarctic ice, okay, Antarctic ice sheet, they could have more hospitable than previously thought here. So here researchers mainly found that there are some microbial life that might exist in these lakes which are present below these Antarctic lakes. So if you see some details of this article, it mainly says that there are more than 400 subglacial lakes. They are present beneath this Antarctic ice sheet. So they are isolated from each other and as well as atmosphere for millions of years. Okay. So now recently researchers they dig two lakes and they mainly found that microbial life that is present beneath this ice sheets. Okay. So if you are talking about these ice sheets or these lakes which are present beneath this Antarctic ice sheets, they do not have sunlight, right? So because whenever we are seeing there is sunlight, they can go for photosynthesis and they can prepare their own food. But these microbial organisms which are present in that lake, they mainly use chemicals. They are mainly found in sedimentation of this lake beds. So whenever there are sediments that are coming into that lake beds, so in that sediments they are mainly depend on some chemicals here. So in this way, whenever the lakes which are present in this Antarctic ice shelf or beneath this Antarctic ice sheets, so water mixing will be happen. So by this water mixing sediments, they are evenly distributed here. And if you are talking about this water mixing mainly happens because of geothermals. Geothermals, they are rising from interior of earth. So whenever we know whenever we are go deep into the earth, there will be increase in temperature, right? So whenever we are going away from our atmosphere, temperature will be decreasing. But whenever we are going deep into the earth, what happens? There will be temperature that is increasing. So because of geothermals which are rising from interior of earth, and also these increase in temperature that will also happens whenever there is combination of heat which is left over from formation of our planet, and as well as there is decaying of radioactive elements present inside our earth. So because of this, that will leads to increase in temperature. So because of increase in temperature, we can see water is mixing. So how water will mix whenever increase in temperature? So if you have seen one concept like whenever we are boiling water, whenever we are keeping fire and whenever we are boiling water, first this layer will be heated. So later on what happened, there will be movement of bubbles in this direction, right? So because of this, water mixing will happen. So the same phenomena that will happens in lakes. So because of this, what happened, there will be even distribution of sediments that is happening. So because of this, microorganisms which are present in that area, they mainly use these chemicals in these sediments. So this is gist of this article. I hope it is clear now. Now it is time to see essay topic. So our essay today is too much democracy is detrimental to development. So you have to write essay, and essay should not be more than 750 words. Try to write essay. So by this we are concluding today. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. And don't forget to join this current affairs package course. Thank you so much.